Hello, welcome again to my YouTube channel, and welcome as we walk through Bien Aime's life experience, but also share his knowledge on mentorship and how we can grow together as a Christian, not only in our Christian faith, but in every area that God is calling us to serve him through, but doing it with the Christian values and principles. Welcome again, Bien Aime. It's nice to have you with us.
Thank you.
So as we discussed previously, we're talking different scenarios where we encountered mentorship and how it has been very useful, and we are grateful for that. And also we advocated how the church should put more effort in initiating mentorship within the church, and not only focusing on discipleship and evangelism, but also introducing mentorship in a way of Christian faith growth is ensured. So today you say that you from Rwanda and now you're staying in South Korea. So that brought me a curiosity to know how's your transition from Rwanda to here in Korea as a Christian? How's your journey and how's your transition?
Thank you. As a Christian, but also as a human.
Yes.
Because they are kind of life we have. I came here 27 years old, so I was mature enough. I had built a kind of life. I had my working places, I had my friends, I had my family, I had my church, I had my ministry, I had people. We are working together. They are the perspectives of life I had at the time. At a certain time, it's not easy to decide to move out of this comfort zone and go to start something new, changing everything, changing your life, changing your people, changing your surrounding, changing your food, changing your language, changing everything. So it's not easy, and I think it's not only for me, anyone who has had this experience of moving from his country to another country, it's always difficult. Personally, when I arrived in Korea, I still remember it was, everything was new. I see people different. And I go to church, the mood, also the environment, the system is different. I go to the education system as well, it's different. So I had a conviction of faith about the reason of my coming, so that I can stand strong despite these differences and overcome the new challenge and be able to live these many years I have been living here in South Korea. So I'm happy that we discussed this, but it is always challenging. Personally also, if I examine my life, I can see easily that my first 6 months was like transition. I was attending church, of course, but I was not doing ministry, I was not doing nothing. I was being introduced at everything. So what helps me is that as a student, I learn everything. I learn the culture, I learn the environment, I see the opportunity and see what to be done. Of course, serving here in South Korea is totally different from how I used to serve at my church in Rwanda, because the structure and the system are different. But we are serving the same God and the same Lord.
Can you tell us specifically what are 2 or 3 examples of the
differences? For example, coming back to my church where I come in Rwanda, we used to have choir-based services. Because choirs are the ones starting and ending the services. The songs played an important role in the service. Coming here, I find a worship team of 1 or 2 people, which is very, very different. Coming back, we need someone to lead the service. Coming here, there is no need of a leader. Everything's automatic. So it's something difficult to welcome. I knew the service is starting, someone would come and begin everything as a leading of this service of the Sunday. Coming here, it's completely another world. Here, everything, if it's a time for the preacher stand up and when he preach, you don't need someone to introduce him. It's something really different. completely different. And even the way sermons and everything is done, and the mood, is environment is totally different. So it took me time. I felt like I'm not in my word. I was feeling like this is not my church. I was expecting to see my church here in Korea. What is impossible? So I had to take time and learn to accept and you make it mine. Then I can be able to serve being in this country.
Okay.
Yeah.
And also, as you were saying, that it was totally different. I kind of got lost in it. Then I had to find myself and accepted the reality. And this brings in to me what I've had many people say, that when they're moving from their country, coming to a new country, they kind of, people were Christian, people were church attenders, people were involved in ministry, but when they come, there's nowhere to be found. Do you think that is related to why they kind of leave the church and the ministry in general?
I think they are related. Though, because I do believe the existence of evil, and evil is an opportunist. If evil can take opportunity of the lack of your surrounding environment to gain you back and to backslide from your faith, evil will use it. So it's related. I do agree there is barrier and challenges, because when you are serving, for example, in your country, you are surrounded by people of your world, people you grew up with, people who are relatives even by blood, your parents, your sisters, your cousins. You are serving the people who study in the same schools, and they have this kind of attraction related to relationship. Then you move out, you are alone. So when you move alone and you are coming to another new environment, you are given a challenge, because you need to create another world. And you need to see somebody who you never knew, you have nothing in common, and welcome him as your friend, as your relative, as your fellow believer. This requires a little bit of courage. Many people fail in that welcoming new people as your friend. Then they choose to live solitary life. And they will end up sometimes depressed, and they will end up finding like church is not useful. And then evil can take this kind of mood, and they can easily backslide. But I do encourage people not to take this new challenge and the new opportunity you get as something that is negative on you. This is something that is really positive, and God needs to use you even in this environment. This experience is very important for the ministry. So the experience you had got when you was in your own country, when you bring it back to this new country you are living in, you combine it together to develop something that is welcoming. So now if I'm in the church, I'm a Rwandan, I'm in Korea, and I'm in the church, it is very easy for any African to be welcomed and feel welcome when he see me at the church. Similar to you who is watching this, if you are here, don't hide. Don't let evil use this kind of new challenge to backslide you. Instead, take courage and get in the church, get involved. And as more you get involved, people will be open to you, and they will call you their brother, they call you their sister, and you will end up creating a new relationship, and you will feel at home, and you will have a family, though you are living abroad.
Okay. So is there any other resource that helped you stick to your faith, or any other person that encouraged you?
The church I'm attending, someone introduced this church to me.
Okay.
That is kind of also something that's good, because it helped me. It helped me not to wander around, asking myself, where should I go? How should I serve? And when I got this kind of confusion, asking, what? This is service? Is what? He was the one I was talking to. That helped me to explore and say what I think without having kind of fear. Similarly, I feel like it can help if you get somebody who can introduce you something. But if there is no one, you know, we have the Holy Spirit, and He's our guide. He will guide you, and be willing to listen to his voice when he's calling to you. And when God is calling you to go to church, don't sleep. Wake up, put on your clothes, go to church. God will serve you through that church. Because that mentoring, it's necessary. But what if there is no?
Yeah.
What if there is no? I wish everybody can have a mentor who can take you to the airport, take you to your school, say, okay, this is how you are to live. You can eat this kind of food. But it does not happen to everybody. I wish to help some people. Maybe when you will come to Korea, contact me.
So you get your guy. So whenever you have a problem, Bien Aime is there.
Sure,
that's
because
true.
I'm willing to help. Because I know people need help. Me too, I wanted help at the time, and I was embraced by a brother who welcomed me and showed me the church and showed me also how I can live. We are speaking about the churches, but we forget about food. You know, you don't know even what to eat. Some people spend weeks eating bread because they don't know what food should they eat. But when you get somebody who can introduce you, you will easily adapt to the life. Language barrier. I'm still struggling with it, of course, but I embraced it. I know my barrier, and where I cannot, I know how to handle the situation, despite though I don't communicate in their language. So I feel like this new challenge of new life and new cultures we face in different, the world is becoming a single village. So you can easily get a visa and go anywhere. So you should be willing to go with your own value and adapt with it and stay the same person. Yeah.
That's very true. He's emphasizing on determination and commitment to what you've known, to what you've been taught. Don't just let it, you lose it because of the new challenge. He's encouraging us to have that courage and fight for what you've learned, fight for your faith and maintain it.